So for the listener, let's define like these abbreviations, right? So there's EA, there's PA, and there's VA. And I want you to kind of establish the differences between the three of them, and what are you and what do you do exactly?
Sure. So we'll start with EA, which stands for executive assistant.
Mm.
And um, the way I look at it is the difference between an executive assistant and a senior executive assistant is more along the lines of time. How long have you been doing it? It's a way for a company, a client, or a company or a principal to give you a title bump after you've been with them for so long. And when you're doing that at the highest level, and I'm talking about CEOs of companies that are doing a billion in revenue, or a hedge fund CEO, or the CEO of a fashion house, or the COO of an ad agency, um, really composes being that business partner, chief of staff, project manager, assistant, scheduler, and personal assistant. Uh, we can go into that, but I'll shift to PA now. And in entertainment, PA means production assistant. And that's someone who is a jack of all trades, there as someone who can run off and grab something quick, can be stationed somewhere, and their job is ever changing. In the business world, and in a where people can afford it, a personal assistant is someone who handles everything personal. Um, and that is something that falls under we feel under the title of executive assistant. Um, but a personal assistant could be a body man or a body woman who is traveling with you and interacting with everybody on your behalf. And again, creating that buffer, being that person that sits in between you and everyone else. Um, but that's personal assistant. And then virtual assistant, you know, when we moved to upstate New York from New York City, my wife got approached by a friend of ours. And she said, I know this consultant who works for Fortune 100 companies, travels the world, needs support, doesn't care where the support is, and doesn't need full time. Would you be interested? And she said, sure. And we started doing a deep dive. This was in 2017 on virtual assistants. And the term virtual assistant was really made famous by Tim Ferriss in the 4 Hour Work Week back in 2007.
Mhm.
And his thesis was, I can hire a virtual assistant from the Philippines for $5 an hour to run my, you know, my online business, my book marketing and podcasts and blogs and all of that. Um, and so that kind of stuck.
Mhm.
And so then companies in the United States sprung up where, they're charging $45 an hour for a virtual executive assistant. And I applied to one of those companies, and the largest one in the States. And they were like, Ethan, great. We want you to be one of our partners. We'll partner you with 8, 10, 12, 15 clients. Um, and we'll pay you $18 an hour. And when can you start?
Mm.
And for both myself and Stephanie, career executive assistants making well into 6 figures, that just didn't align with either the compensation or the idea that someone could handle 8, 10, 12 clients month in and month out successfully
Mm.
in terms of the service that we provide. So that's where we created Pro Assisting, and we consider ourselves remote executive assistants. And in that regard, we limit the number of assistants or number of clients that our assistants support to 3,
Mm.
and we compensate them appropriately um, based on their experience, and um, and a lot of it based on their emotional intelligence, interpersonal skills, work ethic, the soft skills that really elevate the role.